Today we're going to talk about long arm quilting. So if you've been curious about long arm quilting, whether or not it is right for you, whether or not you are ready for it with your quilts, how it goes, what the steps are, everything that is entailed is going to be in this video, so you'll want to stay tuned. If we haven't met yet, I'm Kristen with IC Stars Quilting, and I love to share my quilting journey with you. The whole gambit of emotions from I never want to touch this again to this is the most amazing thing I've ever created, all the way to the oh my gosh, look at this beautiful thing that I made. It is so much fun. I love this, right? I love quilting. I've experienced them all, and I'm sure that you have too. So that's why we get along really well. Today we're going to talk about long arm quilting, like I said, and I want to show you a little bit more behind the scenes. I think as a quilter and as I've been on this journey of quilting myself, it's been really helpful to see the setup that other quilters have. It's been helpful to see the things that they have learned and, you know, what it is that's going on behind the scenes, right? Like, we don't want to see just the pretty, shiny, you know, social media side of things, right? We want to see the nitty gritty behind the scenes stuff too. So I would love to introduce you to my long arm machine. Now, this is a professional long arm machine. It is a great big girl. Her name is Millie. She is amazing. She is an APQS machine, and yes, she is big. Okay, she is 12 foot by about 6 foot, and you need even wider than that for clearance to get all the way around the table. You can see it kind of fits a little bit tight in my space, but we make it work. And no, my home did not come with a long arm machine like room. Okay, that's where my dining table used to be. That's where the dining table in my house used to be, and I have since moved that into the living room, but we make it work because this machine is incredible, and I love to get to work on it. I want to show you this machine in action. Okay, this is the quilt that I mentioned a few weeks ago in one of my videos, and I can link to that up at the top because I was stressing out big time on whether or not I was going to be able to finish this giant quilt. This quilt is 8 feet by 9 feet, and it is going in a family member's home to be hung on the wall. And now, one thing that you're going to see on screen here is how much prep goes into setting up the long arm quilt, right? It's not just an easy, quickly throw it on the machine and see what happens. Well, I don't have to do any basting or making sure that all 3 layers are perfect, because that is part of the roller process. It makes sure that all the layers stay nice and flat. Prep for each quilt, putting it on the machine, does take about half an hour. So there is some heavier prep work ahead of time that is going to allow for a much smoother quilting process. So let's start with the basics of long arm quilting. So what is long arm quilting? If you're quilting on your home machine, you are moving the quilt and the machine is staying still. With long arm quilting, it's running on these tracks that the machine itself is able to move around and your quilt stays on the frame, okay? So this is going to allow you to have a little bit more precision. It's going to give you some more options as far as what you can quilt on it, the designs that you can do. And then I also have a computer attachment to my machine that allows me to do the coolest patterns, okay? The coolest pattern. So the long arm quilting machine itself, my sweet Millie here, I'm able to do much more complex designs than I would on my standard home machine. Feels like an extension to a pen and paper to me, and it is definitely a skill that I've had to learn and fine tune over time. But this is one of my greatest joys, is seeing a quilt that somebody has worked super hard on come together and actually be able to do the quilting on it for them to bring that entire quilt's vision to life. One thing that I love about using this long arm quilting machine is that I am able to do quilting designs on other people's quilts that they are not quite up to doing themselves yet, right? Beginner quilters, like, you pour a ton of time and hours into making and piecing and trying to get this quilt to be perfect, right? The last thing you want to do is just put some standard design on there, or maybe even straight quilting is not your thing if that's not what the quilt is calling for. If it's calling for a very curvy quilty design that you are not ready for, this machine has the capabilities to do it, and it does it very easily. In no time, you can have a very, very professional looking quilt, even if you are not quote unquote a professional quilter yet. And you know, I have so many quilts that I have done on this machine, and so many quilts that I am just in awe of the creativity of the people who've sent me their quilts, that like I couldn't even begin to show you all of them. But if you like seeing some of the behind the scenes stuff, I would love to put some more of these videos on here on YouTube so that you can see them, so that you can be inspired by them as well. You know, I'd love to know what part of the quilting process is the most scary for you as a beginner, okay? I know it's all fabric. It feels scary, okay? And that's okay. I want you to know that like every single quilter goes through that. Whenever they take that jump from whatever level you're at to the next level and you try something else, it always feels a little bit scary, like maybe you're not quite ready for it yet. But I can tell you that every time I've hit that point in my journey so far, and I have made that jump, doing it scared, both feet at the same time, or maybe even just one toe at a time, it has been worth it. So if you're at that point where you're wanting to learn some more skills, or maybe you're still at the beginner stage and you're just wanting to get the basics down, I want to encourage you to keep going. I want you to keep pressing forward and keep doing what it is you love. Some of the quilts that I get, I can tell you I've known the girls for a very long time. Never met them in person, but I've just known them, you know, through business, my other quilter clubs and stuff. I've known them for a very long time, and it's so much fun when I get to see the progress that they've made on a quilt that I quilted for them 6 months ago versus a quilt that I quilted for them this week. It's crazy. I love seeing it. If you have any questions that you want to ask a long arm quilter, I'm here. I'm an open book. You know that. I'm an open book. I'm happy to share with you the information that I have learned on my own quilting journey. And I am happy to tell you if I'm not the one that you should be talking to for that specific question, right? Like I don't have all the answers yet, but I am on this quilting journey with you, and I love the exchange of information that we have, the tips that we share together, the things that I have learned in the comments of my other videos from quilters that are levels above me, quilters that are levels below me, and working on other things. You know, we are all just on this journey together, and maybe at different points. It's been so much fun, and I love to talk to you. It's wonderful to see you today. Thank you for watching this, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for checking out a little bit behind the scenes and seeing some more of the long arm quilting projects that I'm working on. I promise I will do a full video reveal of this quilt once it gets done so that you can see the whole thing put together. It's still in progress, okay? Somebody, we're not going to name names, but somebody might have gone a little over and above on the quilting on this quilt and did something very fun and very custom. And you know, yeah, that's somebody's me. I can't help it. I can't help it. I love this. And I love when I get a inspired idea and I just have to go with that. So, okay, I've chatted your ear off for enough this time. It's been so nice to see you. I'll see you next week. I'm Kristen with ICStarsQuilting.com. Have a good day. Bye.